Scoring an IELTS Band 8 doesn't require swallowing of thesaurus. Today, we are dismantling the specific mechanics that separate a standard Band 7 response from an elite Band 8 plus score, using the history topic as our primary case study. The examiner assesses 4 strict criteria. For higher bands, the battlegrounds are lexical resource and grammatical range. A Band 8 demands precision. Using one accurate word like tedious instead of boring earns more credit than cramming 3 complex adjectives into one sentence. To see how this works in practice, we are going to reverse engineer high-scoring model answers. We will strip away the advanced grammar to expose the underlying architecture of the ideas. What you will find is that true advanced fluency is essentially rigorous structural control, deliberately disguised as effortless natural conversation. Let's look at the first core question. Have you ever been to historical museums? The most common trap here is giving a flat, purely descriptive answer listing physical locations. Take a look at model answer B. Notice how the speaker says yes immediately, but instantly pivots from a physical location to a broader cultural point. This pivot creates the space to deploy exact C2 vocabulary. The candidate talks about a place's cultural heritage and how original artifacts can have a profound impact, phrases specifically calibrated for cultural topics. Then comes the grammatical mechanic, in a way that, followed by a clause. This structure forces a nuanced comparison, contrasting the weight of physical artifacts against written text. Grounding these abstract concepts with concrete visual references, like visiting the Louvre in Paris, proves you fully grasp the vocabulary you are using. By shifting the answer away from what a museum is and focusing instead on why it matters, the candidate creates a cognitive demand that naturally produces higher-level linguistic structures. Next is the notoriously broad question, do you like history? This topic is incredibly abstract, making it easy to lose your train of thought mid-sentence. Look at model answer B here. Instead of a blanket yes, the speaker strategically narrows the field immediately. The phrase, although I am quite selective, acts as a nuance marker. Right out of the gate, it demonstrates advanced conversational control by refusing an overgeneralized stance. The speaker then uses a cleft-style emphasis. What fascinates me most is this specific grammatical boundary forcefully directs the examiner's attention to the candidate's exact point of interest. This tight framing allows the candidate to naturally introduce high-level collocations. They can comfortably discuss how past figures shape the world or how history gives context to contemporary problems. These structural choices allow the candidate to shrink a massively broad question into a highly specific, easily defensible topic that they control. For question 3, when was the last time you read about history? A period like the Cold War provides an excellent thematic anchor here. Here in model answer B, we see a masterclass in balancing formal academic structures with informal conversational delivery. The candidate employs the passive structure can be traced back to, alongside the focus construction, what caught my attention was. These dense grammatical moves are highly rewarded under the grammar criteria. But notice the packaging. The candidate opens with casual, natural phrasing, like quite recently, and I came across. This proves the answer is generated in real time, not read from a mental script. The hallmark of a Band 8 or 9 is this exact ability, delivering rigid, complex academic structures seamlessly wrapped in a casual, spoken rhythm. Finally, question 4. Did you like history when you were young? Candidates usually discuss periods they were taught in school, like the Industrial Revolution. Look at how model answer B deliberately opts for a balanced, mixed response rather than picking a definitive side. By opening with the advanced contrast framework, to an extent, but the speaker effortlessly doubles the length of the response. The structure itself naturally demands a counterpoint. This creates the perfect setup for high-level lexical contrast. The candidate places the concept of engaging narrative history right next to the C1 lexical item tedious, a precise, accurate upgrade from the word boring. They cap it off with the highly native phrasing, did very little for me. This pragmatic chunk injects authentic personality into the answer. Rejecting a binary yes or no, and instead admitting to mixed feelings, provides the ideal architectural foundation to showcase your comparative grammar. Now, let's step back and look at the broader lexical strategy. The goal is always moving from basic terminology to precise equivalence. Instead of saying an event had an important effect, you upgrade to the C2 collocation, profound impact. Instead of calling rote memorization boring, it becomes tedious. Not objective becomes subjective. But you must respect strict usage boundaries. A word like obsolete means no longer used. It works perfectly for outdated technology, but history itself cannot be obsolete. Beyond individual words, you need modular, advanced structural frameworks that can be applied to any IELTS topic. Take the conditional inversion, had it not been for. You can apply this directly to historical events. For example, had it not been for a good history teacher, I might have found the subject completely tedious. These frameworks are not memorized answers. They are modular equations. On test day, you simply plug your own situational vocabulary into them. To consistently score in the 8 to 9 range, you have to avoid the execution traps that keep candidates stuck at a band 7. The primary danger is over-engineering your response. Never fall for the vocabulary stack. Cramming 3 C1 or C2 words into a single short sentence ruins your fluency and guarantees you will sound unnatural to the examiner. Second, respect collocations strictly. Words travel in specific pairs. It is exactly cultural heritage or rote memorization. You cannot mix and match these components. And specifically for the history topic, maintain conceptual accuracy. You must distinguish between a subjective interpretation of an event and a pure factual inaccuracy. A historical source can be subjective without being entirely false. The highest scores are never awarded to candidates reciting perfect, sterile templates. They go to candidates who master these mechanics to express authentic, personalized thoughts. Ready to elevate your IELTS preparation? Scan the QR code to connect with the IELTS Focus via Zalo and get the expert guidance you need.